Hello, hello. Welcome to the Intrigue Podcast. It's episode number 9.
Yeah.
We're on, what is it, Saturday, June 2nd,
Yeah,
2018.
We've been away for a minute.
I think our last pod was definitely when we were at Petros Park doing the old conspiracy
The rapid fire. That was fun.
fire part 2.
That was fun.
Which, yeah, that was a great one. I know we got some feedback from a couple of people I know listening, and they said they definitely enjoyed it. They kind of gave us their takes and everything. That's cool. That's the whole reason I even like doing this, is like getting to talk to you and, having people, maybe like spread their mind a little bit or, just, kind of tell us like some things that they thought of when we were talking. That's all I like doing.
Yep.
So, how you been though, man?
I've been all right. I'm hanging in there.
I was going to say, I know we just saw each other on Memorial Day, the holidays.
We did,
but,
yeah. I was feeling, I had a little bit of the brown bottle flu.
Hangover
Turns out you can't not drink for 2 months and then day drink all day and not be feeling it the next day. Turns out, who knew?
And hey, you got to remember, man. I know you're looking young, but like you getting up there in age, brother, it starts catching up to you.
Oh man, you just do not. I would say you're gonna be 25 in December,
yeah.
Right? And I know you don't drink very much. Do you drink at all?
Dude, it's actually a funny story. I was just at this wedding that we were talking about a little
bit.
Yeah,
you're gonna talk about that.
He has, they bought like all the wine and everything.
Yeah.
Like the expensive shit, and like gave it to everyone. They had a white and a red or whatever. Bro, I go to try this thing, and because I was open to it today. Like I usually don't drink just because it makes me feel like shit. Like
right.
I work out a lot. I do a lot to really maintain like a nice body or try to even get to that goal of having a nice body.
Right.
And I just feel like ever since I've done that, like even when I eat stuff, it just messes with me. So like, that's a real big reason I don't drink. Like, cause it's not that I'm not saying I have a hangover every time, but my stomach ache, and it's like, but like I drank this wine, dude. It's expensive. Everybody was like, oh my gosh, it's amazing, dude. I put it in my mouth, and I was like, oh no, couldn't do it. So I like literally, I didn't even try the red wine. The white was just too bad. I usually am more a fan of the white, but
I would say I was probably on 25, 26 where the hangovers really started to get brutal, and that's when I was like, okay, I got to tone this down. And I'm kind of the same boat as you. It's just there's so many empty calories, and too much alcohol is definitely not a good thing.
And dude, like, and the whole thing for me too is like I try to live by my whole like method of make my life as easy as possible for my future self. And I never ever, if I ever have a choice, I'm gonna say, yeah, why not? Won't I wake up in the morning and feel like absolute buns? Like, no, hell no. Sky spinning, like I cannot do that.
I hate that, losing that productivity.
Oh man!
Day. Luckily, I revived myself.
You really, dude. If you really think about it, you lose an entire next day.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry. Like
if you're really getting after it,
Dude, like I know a lot of people though that it's just like they got over the whole hangover thing. They just drink every damn day and they just get used to it. It's like,
well, that's the thing people say. It's like you just got to start drinking. I've never been one to do that. I don't have the. I think that's more mental strength.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Than it is.
Well, I've
never been able to do that.
I just feel like with any substance, you can go with anything. Like we didn't even talk food, anything. I feel like if you do anything too much, like your body starts getting because we don't realize it, but our bodies start fiending stuff and like start really because our bodies get into a little trend like we do, and if you're say you drink every single day for 2 months or something, like. Guess what? If you try to stop that next day, you're gonna have a real tough time. It's not gonna happen. So like that's anything, in life. That's food. You see that all the time with people. Like so, it's like that's something I try not to do too much ever. Of anything.
Absolutely.
Even though I definitely smoke my fair share of weed, but
yeah, but no one's ever OD'd on weed.
That's true, and it's like I never get a hangover from it. Honestly, man. Like it's a good time. Like you could definitely get to the paranoid high, but like that's just that's you. That's a choice that you just did. Like
subjected to the person that's doing it. So what are we gonna talk about today?
Well, real quick, we'll go back to this whole wedding thing because I'm fresh from a wedding. This is the first wedding I've been at in years, and this is actually like it's the first time that one of my close friends have got married. So it was a nice little experience And I just want to shout out Chris and Taylor. Like, hey guys, congratulations!
Chris and Taylor, congratulations!
Yeah, your guys
never met you, but congratulations!
You guys, young as shit. Y'all 25. Both of you guys are 25. You guys are killing it. You guys got a beautiful baby girl, like 3 years old. They're killing it. Like seriously, like I know. Like we when we're in a certain shoes, like say you're talking about yourself. Like I know it's easy to get hard on yourself and everything. and be down and everything, but it's like, you know, like when you have somebody look at yourself from an outside point of view, you know, it helps you realize, like, you know, how much, like, you have and how much other people have and how much everybody should be happy for what we got, because we take everything for granted. And like, and seriously, these guys are absolutely beautiful. Their vows, let me tell you what, when they were talking the vows, man, I cried. On the I cried a little bit. Like, I had to. Like, it's so awesome. Like, you know, seeing that raw emotion. I know we always talk about it. That's why we don't like telling each other like what we're gonna talk about. You like seeing that like true, like who you are. You know, and it's like seeing two people, you know, like to actually love each other, and you can see it just by the way that, you know, you're around these two people all the time, and, you know, they're not necessarily the deepest at times, but this, you know, to see their true emotions come out and see them cry, you know, because it's just how happy they are with somebody. It's like, dude, like, you know, that's something that's like, that's goals forever. I don't care who you are. You want that in your life, Absolutely. You know? But it's like, in this day of age, we've talked about how the divorce rate is over 50-some%. It's like, dude, it's like, it's really tough to see true love, and it's like, I've been surrounded by nothing but fake love my entire life, you know, or not fake love, but like maybe lust, or, you know, like an infatuation that everybody just thought it was love and it never turned out to be. And it's like, you know, when you actually do see it, like you got an eye for it, you know, and it's like, it's a beautiful thing. And it was the smallest wedding I've been to, and it was 32 people, but it was, like I told you, man, I was like, you could feel the positivity there. You're not having distant cousins there that you haven't seen in 3 years. You're not having, you know, you're having your grandma's, you know, sister-in-law come in that, like, is still alive, you know, Aunt Betty, whatever, like, whoever it is, they don't even know who you are, even the person you're about to marry, and to see them have the true core people in their life be there, and everybody just super proud. Like, I think every single one of us were crying at the same time. Like, you don't see that at weddings, man. Right. It was just, it was so passionate, and it was a beautiful time, man. Like, it's and it, you know, keeps you, like I said, man, I've always been about putting my life into perspective and keeping it in perspective. And it's stuff like this that I absolutely fucking love, man. Like, truly seeing people happy is something that will always make me happy. You know, like... That's why people love weddings. I mean, it's that to see true love. And I think that love is the strongest emotion that we're capable of experiencing as humans. Yeah. I really think it... I know depending on your mood and how you're listening to this and where you are, maybe you might disagree, but I think it's the most overpowering, and it's that. And any person, that's the one thing that every single one of us have in common, other than breathing and having to eat and stuff, is every single person, you know, drives for love. You know, it's like we need it. Everybody wants it, and we're all capable of. Everybody needs it. Putting it out too, even though I know there are people who act like they don't, but and you know, there's. Oh, those are the ones that need it the most. Yeah, probably. Yeah, seriously, it is, dude. But. So, while I'm at this wedding, you know me, being Steven, you know, just looking around places, just be like, oh shit, let me take as much, because I like to really observe, you know, like, you're looking at everybody around, you know, taking pictures with their phones, glued to their phones, like, and you're actually taking up the moment and everything. And dude, here's some of my takeaways, that, like, you know, because whenever you're seeing something, you know, you kind of, like, it's something you probably go through in your life. Most of us will probably get married and, you know, have kids, whatever. It's like, you know, granted, you know, hopefully we do. But, you know, it's like you start taking things away. And, dude, it's really nothing against religion here at all. This is not my drive at this. But, dude, like, just to see the pastors or priest or whoever is about to marry these people. Yeah. Literally, I wish people could see us right now, but I'm just reading off of my notepad that I would be having. Like, I'm not even looking at while talking. Like, this is what they're doing. You know, they're reading the lines, reading the verses from the Bible. Like, you know, every once in a while they'll look up and pause, you know, but they're reading from a line. They're not, nothing's true, nothing's like raw, no emotions are coming out of this person other than, oh shit, this is what I got my license to do. Like, it's almost taking away from the moment that a third person even has to be up there to marry two people. You know, like that's always been my one takeaway from marriage ever. You know, it's like, it's one thing I want to, you know, have a wedding for my wife or whatever, because that's a girl's dream. But for me, it's like, dude, just having that person's all I want. And I'm not gonna, I hate the fact that, like, take your relationship right now, or anybody's relationship, or like you take from two people. It's just one and you and that other person. That's it, you know. And so you're about to get married. So you're about to get married. God bless America. Yeah, sorry. Bless you. So okay, so you're about to, so you guys decide you want to get married, and then now you're taking you two, just you and that girl, or your girl and whatever, you know, just you two, and then you tie yourself with the law or the government because every divorces have to go through the courtroom. Like it's, dude, you can go on for days about how like, and then you see all these people nowadays like domestic violence stuff like that can drive somebody to like absolute like you can destroy somebody's life, and they're usually taking the guy 99% of the time, like. And the fact that, you know, say they ever want to break up, like in a relationship, you guys can just walk your separate ways. I mean, don't get me wrong, somebody's going to be more emotional and hating, but like, say you have a kid, you have to pay child support for the rest of your life or until they're 18, you know, maybe even more. You never know. And it's like there's always something to just make sure that the government's getting more money, and that's stupid. It's something I'll never do.
I think the number one reason that couples cite for divorces is irreconcilable differences, which is a fancy way of saying money. So people.
Oh no, that's what I'm saying. That's absolute stupid.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying that domestic violence and these things don't happen and people don't, you know, see eye to eye on everything.
Well, dude, okay, so that's my whole thing. This is my whole thing with the whole domestic violence thing. So it's almost unfair for us because you put any single person in a room with somebody that they absolutely fucking love. Yeah. And they get in a little argument and say it's gonna get fucking escalated because you actually care about this person, and it's almost unfair because it's like you putting your emotions on steroids. Because I mean I've been in plenty of my fights with girls before in my day, like with girls like girlfriends and stuff, and like, you know, it gets really fucking heated, but like I've never got to like I've always had enough self-control that I never had to like hit somebody or anything, but like dude, like people take it way further than it needs to get because they have the emotions caught up into it, and it's stupid that they'd even get in trouble. Like this is my thing, like I'd only want to be with somebody that like has respect like for me, like that I have respect for, like if we like, well, say you were a girl right now, say we were gay, whatever, like say any situation, and I'd be looking at you and be like, well, look, like as of right now, I love you to death. I want to be with you the rest of my life. Yeah. Like, and I'm gonna let you know, like, this is me because I respect you, just because I truly love you. Like, if you and I ever break up or get a divorce or whatever, I'm never gonna take anything from you. You're gonna walk out of this relationship what you walked in with. You know, like that's how whatever we have, we can have a cordial conversation and do that shit. Like, that's what it should be. But now you're taking this divorce and people are playing systems 24/7. You're seeing all these girls, bro. All these, like, guys do it too, but you're seeing girls all the time now on social medias and all these people, like, you know, strippers or whatever, like, getting these rich guys in there.
Expose them.
Yeah, because they know they can get money, and that shit's just trash. It's all because of the divorce. Like, it's all because of just how the marriage system goes and how child support goes and everything. It's just a system for money, but it's just stupid because it's making us heathens. And that's like, dude, it's another conspiracy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I say conspiracy all the time, but it's almost more like it's almost written down. It's almost shown to you in, you know, true color, but we're just blinded by it because everybody wants to get married because everybody else is doing it. And it's like, that's why everybody else is getting married all the time. Like, if you actually sat back and really thought, like I just kind of told you, you know, if you really think about what marriage is and you sit back, and you be like a true human to yourself and just realize, like, shit, like, it doesn't matter. Like, regardless, like, it's just a ring. That's just all it is. That's another thing that we like got to go spend all this shit ton of money on to give to the man, is to get a ring or something. Like, don't get me wrong, I would love to get a girl whatever she wanted and stuff, but like, it's way more than that. It's about how I fucking feel about you. It's about my soul. It's not about my physical, not about what I can get you. It's not about any of that shit. It's about how much I fucking love you, you know, and like it's how much we connect. Yeah. And that's why I like at this wedding, like, you could truly see that that's what it is. Yeah. And that's why it's like, dude, it fires me up because it's like all I've been surrounded by are people that just, you know, we all just get fucking, you know, I'm sorry for this rant, but
no.
We all get selfish, and then we try to like just take this person that we love so much because we're hurt, we try to hurt them back, and it's stupid.
I mean, I will say, like, I believe in marriage. I believe it's something that can work. I think it takes a lot of work to have a successful marriage in today's day and age. But I will say that our society and our economy, I think, wants you to get married. There are tax benefits to getting married. Your insurance is cheaper if you're married. I mean, I think that's why, still, even to this day, I mean, I think maybe it's a little more common. I don't know the numbers, but I think still, even to this day, if you met like a 40-year-old guy and he's never been married, don't some people, a good majority of people, kind of give him like a sideways look, like, well, what's wrong with you? You know?
Oh yeah, but dude, but here's my thing. Like, look at all the people, like, my number one example that I could always go to is when we worked at Glenmore Country Club, because like we worked with like everybody's car that we parked when we were valets, we were dealing with middle-aged people or older people. Tell me how many, like I would say honestly 70% of the guys that were married that come in with their ladies or divorced and like truly like talk to us have told me once or 5 times in their life of talking to me is never get married, kid. Never get married. Like you hear that all the time.
Right.
Like my mom told me that shit the other day, like on some real shit. Like people are telling you nowadays that have got married don't get married. It's like, I don't know, it's funny to me because just this day and age, man, it's just, if you, like I'm saying, if you can actually like fall in love with somebody and truly respect them for there, like it could work. But just this day of age, like with social media and everything, it's designed not to work.
I think it's like a healthy relationship is so precious.
Oh yeah.
And if you're in one and you think it's got a chance to go the distance, I mean, you gotta protect that thing and nourish that thing. Like, I mean, like it's a baby. Like it's the most important thing you've ever had in your entire life, and they are a lot of work, you know. So,
but I just think, well, to like take that further, what I said, like this day and age, like how it's not designed, because we talk about it all the time, how fast everything's coming out nowadays, how fast like we can get news at a click of a button. Like we all want something. We all want something now. Yes, and it's like we are just now like just becoming people that just take everything for granted, man. We don't realize anything anymore. Like I'm not talking to everyone, because that's just stupid of me to say. But when I say we, I'm talking the majority of humankind. That's us. You know what I'm saying? Like seriously, or I should say, I don't want to say majority of humankind, because there's a lot of people out there that are just suffering and everything, but like people that have like what we have right now. Yeah. It's like seriously, man, like we've lost all touch of reality, I feel like, man. Like we think like everything's going to just be tomorrow, and like we're going to have everything, like, and this is actually this is translating so perfect. I couldn't even have planned this into what I wanted to talk to you about. Okay. So I texted you the other day and I said the whole like time conspiracy, like calendar and everything. So it's just little notes.
Calendar started.
Little notes for me to start. Like, okay, dude. So I was really thinking about the other day. One of the songs I was listening to, actually, it was a Mac Miller song. He just dropped. One of his lines were just like, life's a matter of seconds, and he goes 1, 2, and then he like go. So like. For me, I just take the smallest lines or whatever, and I go real far with them. Like all my thoughts are like, I take them as far as I possibly can. Yeah. And like it had me thinking, and I took it all the way from just seconds to just how like, I kind of was like tripping my mind. Like I was a little high. Don't get me wrong. So it's like kind of that high thought of the day. Like I was thinking of this, like if you count, okay, so say you count to 20 seconds. Yeah. Like. You can never truly get those 20 seconds back, so how can we count 20 of them? Like, if you count 20 humans, like, you can take a few away, put them away. Like, right. For me, like, seconds literally only go by 1, because you can never duplicate them, because they're done as soon as they happen. So, like, 1, it should be, like, 1,
I see
1. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know I understand, like, counting seconds is, like, for, say you're counting to a minute and stuff, but, like, say you're not counting to anything. And, like, I just feel like seconds, like, almost don't even count. But, like, it's just stupid for me. Like I was thinking, and like, cause I feel like it takes away from our drive to do anything in life, is because we put these, like, I know we made calendars and everything to like remember dates and like everything, like for the seasons and all that shit. And I know that basically Earth is a clock in its own way with the sun and everything. Like our whole universe is. I understand this, but like. For us, when we put days in a week in calendars, and like our phones have like these calendars now, and like we have schedules for work, like I really feel like schedules and calendars and just the whole thought of time, like just our measurement of time, takes away from you and I's like drive to do stuff. Because I've said it multiple times, you said it multiple times, where like we would be talking. And we'd be like talking about a pod. Like that's exactly like we'll be talking about when we can do a pod, and I'll be like, well, I'm free Wednesday. You'd be like, oh, I'm not free Wednesday. I'm free Thursday. And I'd be like, well, I'm not free Thursday. So like we're pushing back to like Friday or whatever, like Saturday morning is what we're doing right now. Yeah. But just because we're just caught in this whole thing where we're just like we automatically, because we see it written down that we already have these days for granted. Like they're for sure. We already have them. And it's like if we never thought about time, we didn't even know what day the next day was. Like. Really, like we didn't know what day anything was. you and I would have been talking like, holy shit, yeah, we're going to do this right fucking now. Because, like, you know, because we would be knowing, like, we don't, or at least the way I'm looking at it is, like, you wouldn't be looking forward to anything, so you would really understand that, like, holy shit, today could be the last day, you know?
And that's, I think people always kind of think you have time. And you kind of, we have this idea.
That's what I'm saying. Like, and like even with your shifts and stuff,
right.
2:30 to 10:30. Like, you're like, okay, well, it's an 8-hour shift. Like,
right.
At 6 o'clock, I'm gonna do this, all this stuff. But you plan stuff. But like, we're not promised any of that. And like, I feel like it's stupid. Like, I feel like we take a lot back away from our lives, because like when we say we got to be up in the morning, like, you know, you tomorrow you could die.
Right.
Like, you can never have that night ever again. Like, of course we need sleep and everything for the day. But, like, we put ourselves to sleep at 8 o'clock sometimes, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night. For what? Like, seriously, we're going to bed just because we think we have tomorrow promised. Like, I know everybody just likes living in schedules and stuff, and, like, we just done it for so long. But, like, I just think, like, I was really thinking about it. I got some deep-ass thinking. And I was just thinking, like, my whole thought of it was, I think humans in general would be so much more productive if there wasn't any sort of thing like a calendar or the days of the week and stuff, because we wouldn't be like pushing to that day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I've never thought about it before, so it was like something that kind of blew my mind.
About,
so, yeah.
So what if time didn't exist?
Yeah, like don't get me wrong, time exists. It has to exist because we like it's literally just the way the sun that we revolve around the sun and everything, bro. Like it's 365 days. It's a year. But like that's gonna happen every time, you know. So it's like those measurements I understand, and I understand like important dates. I know we like to keep those and everything, but like if you really think of what I'm thinking of, and you take all that away, and you just live every day like it's your last, you know, your last few seconds, and we just didn't be like, well, because it's real easy. If you and I were just talking today and we didn't know what tomorrow was in the next few days, you know, we would definitely like plan for tomorrow. Mm-hmm. We wouldn't be like, oh, well, okay, well, now that I know that next 8 days from now it's going to be a Tuesday, like I already know that I'm looking forward to a Tuesday.
Right.
Like I already have a name for it, so it's already a thing that's going to happen. But that's 8 days away. That's so long. That's not even promised. But like for today's society and everything, it's just like, hey, it's right here. Because everything's now, you know. It's like
way back when you know, I think the calendar we go by today is called the Gregorian calendar.
Yeah.
And I think it was like maybe going back like before the ancient Romans and some of the ancient Greeks. They were some like maybe the first, and I could be wrong on this, they kind of, you know, got the idea of measuring time. And I think where it all starts is like these people that just, they want that order. They want to control. They want to have, because we're pretty much, okay, we are run by a 24-hour day, essentially, right?
Yeah.
Like we are, I don't want to, like prisoner sounds like such a bad word, but like we are subject to that 24-hour day. So pretty much what are you going to do in this 24-hour day? Well, we are our species, human beings, we have to sleep for a good portion of that day. I would say at least a quarter of that day. I would say the average human is going to need 6 hours of sleep on a somewhat regular basis. You can get by, you know, a couple days here, a couple days there, without getting, you know, that sleep. And obviously, depending on your age, you need more or less sleep. So there's already, let's say, a quarter of your day. For the people that get 8 hours of sleep, there's a third of your day. And then, you know, whatever powers that be decided, well, we need a 40-hour work week on average.
Yeah.
And we need this, and we need that. And next thing you know, you just see this time slipping away. You know, there was a book that I have on like my wish list. It's called the 10-Hour Work Week, I think.
Yeah.
But pretty much just masters like
maximizing
your time. Did we talk about this?
This is my whole thing to this, like whole my point of view from it is because like you've talked, we know each other. Like you and I definitely try to put as much jam packed as in our day that we possibly can. Because like you said, like we never like I've said, like you said, you never know when it's our last day. Right. So why not do everything that you want to do in a day, or as much as you can in a day? And so so you were talking about like how long we've been using the calendar, and it kind of took me back to like just to ancient Egypt days where they built all of Egypt. Like this is here's my thing right here. Okay. So look at how much they got. Okay, so look how much they got put up and everything. Like they made in a short amount of time, and look how sturdy and look how great those things they've lasted the test of time. You know, and Like it reminds me kind of like ants. Like if you look at ants in an ant farm, look how much they get done. They expand that shit in so long, like moving. Because you know. But okay, so now, put a cell phone. Like give an ant a cell phone, tiny down cell phone for them to. They're gonna be sitting around. Nothing's gonna get done. They're not gonna be working together. That's like the whole reason that they're so, you know, the whole reason that it's so great and that they're so strong is because they work together. And we don't do that because we're just sidetracked of everything now. We've made so much, and that's not even a conspiracy or nothing. Yeah. It's just we've been around too long, I want to say, as a species, like for us to ever last like that ever again. Like it's almost too far gone.
Well, yeah.
You know, like at first we worked like ants. We worked together. That's Egypt. That's probably how they got shit done. Like you see ants, they can lift three times their body weight or something. Like something ridiculous like that. I'm guessing that humans were like that at a time because that's all we did was work together. And because we had to, there was nothing we knew. There was literally nothing else we could have done.
There was no idle time.
Yeah, and like don't get me wrong, you're always gonna like have like that little feud with somebody, but just by everybody else going and doing that you guys are all doing the same job. Like look at ants. Like if two little ants in a whole like ant fucking farm that like say 3,000 of them are in. Yeah. They're not gonna have enough time to stop and fight because everybody else is gonna keep them moving. You know what I'm saying? Like in today's age, we don't do that anymore because everything's just stopped because everybody's stopped. Yeah. Everybody's worried about everything else, and not just focused on the big goal. You know. And that's just what I'm getting to. I'm just saying, like, I know I say it all the damn time, and I know in our lifetime we probably will never see it, but it's just crazy to think just in our life that I'm living right now, man, because I could have never had a life, and it's cool to just think about the cool shit, but, like, man, for real, like, it would have been cool to live back in the times where they actually work together. Like, I don't think we'll ever really experience that, like, truly. Like, as a whole, as, like, everybody on this planet working together, like, we're never going to see that. You know, and that's kind of depressing to me, you know, because it's like that had to have happened one time in or another. Like seriously, like even though don't get me wrong, I'm sure the population was a quarter of the size it is now, or an eighth of the size. Yeah. So it's a lot easier. I understand, but like that still would have been pretty cool to like kind of witness, you know.
Where we weren't disconnected.
Yeah, man. Because we've made so much throughout the years. So much. We've invented so many things that you just can't get rid of. Yeah. And it's like we just have so many things. Life. Yes, yeah. And like it's like anything. The more there is of anything, like the worse that it can get, and the better that it can get. You know. So I don't know. It's just some thought. It's just some food for your thought.
All right. So I mean, let me ask you this. I think one of the, I think go back 100 years ago, and once again, I mean, how many times have we talked about the timeline of how long human beings are on the planet? 100 years is just like a tiny, tiny little sliver. 100 years ago, and I don't know the real history on this, but I'm going to say 100 years ago, so 1918, I'm going to go out on a limb and say there wasn't air conditioning.
No.
So, right now, we're sitting in a house, the air conditioning's on. Yeah. I mean, talk about a luxury. But human beings survived thousands of years without air conditioning and thrived and did just fine without it.
I can't even be a hypocrite and say that I could be somebody that lives like that. Like, of course I'd want to live like that, but like just who we are. We've been living this life for so long. Like just the other day at work, the air was off, like it wasn't working. So it was like 80 something in the house and I was dying. I was like, oh shit, like. But, dude, like, seriously, like you said, man, we can't, if you ask any single one of us that have had air our entire life to just live the rest of our life without air, we would be, no, you're fucking nuts, man. I mean,
how upset do we get when, like, you can't print a paper?
Think about kids, think about kids when they get their phones taken away.
Yeah.
Dude, are you fucking me?
Could you imagine, like, you're sending electronic messages around the world in a matter of seconds, and you can't do it. And like, think of how upset we get when a text message won't send, and we have to try it again, like for 5 seconds.
Or think about when a call goes down,
or when a video won't load, or something.
Or when a call goes down, Twitter's down. Everybody's fucking pissed. Like even with me when Fortnite's down, like we're fucking pampered, bro.
Does that make us soft?
We are soft. Like I don't care how much I talk about like how much I try to be like. You know, like just the perfect, or not perfect person, but like the person that I want to be. Yeah. Like I'm still soft as a fucking little marshmallow. Like seriously, dude. Like we all are.
There was a TED Talk I watched recently. Do you ever watch TED Talks?
I've listened to. I've never watched them, but I've listened to a few.
There was one I watched recently, and I gotta see. if I can find it here. All right, this guy, his name's Steven Pinker. Is the world getting better or worse? A look at the numbers. And you know what? I kind of had to challenge myself because I kind of think, I kind of view things, and I know I've said things on this podcast before. They're like, and I think coming from my teaching career, which as of yesterday is over now.
Which, congratulations on that. I think that's a big step for you.
Yeah, it's crazy. But, I couldn't help but feel like my worldview as a whole was becoming more negative and more cynical. And that things are getting, the society's on the downfall. But then I watched this TED Talk, and this guy, again, at some point you gotta, because it's so easy, you could just go through life and just be like, I don't believe anything I see. I don't believe anything I read, because I think there's a spin on everything. And at some point you gotta put your foot in the ground and just be like, this seems credible. I'm gonna buy this.
Yeah.
So I was buying what this guy was saying, and he put a bunch of stats up there that said, literacy numbers as to where they were 50 years ago through the roof. The amount of people in the world that have health care, the numbers are way up. It was the amount of people that have access to running water is way up, and things like that. Now, don't get me wrong, these are still issues. They still have a way to go. But all these things, and the numbers were doing better. And I think we kind of talked about it too on a pod. We talked about that, was it the year, I think last year, like pop was at an all-time low in sales. People are drinking more water. Because I think any rational person would universally agree that water is better for you than a sugary carbonated drink is,
Oh, yeah.
So that's where I'm kind of challenging myself to look at things more positively, maybe we are a little more pampered, that we have air conditioning and we have, the technology that we have. Look, we're doing a podcast right now.
Yeah.
Could you imagine trying to explain a podcast to someone 100 years ago?
Real quick, here's the only, like I said too, just a couple, sentences ago, whatever I said, whatever it would be. I said, don't get me wrong, I know that it gets worse, but I know it gets better at some points too. I understand that. But here's my thing where I just want to because the dude was talking about numbers for healthcare and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, so we look at the numbers of healthcare, but then let's really raise the question of how easy would it be for every single person to have healthcare just free? How many countries do that? The U.S. is one of the only ones that charge, and I think we charge the most.
Yeah.
It shit's ridiculous. That's something that blows my mind. Because I always because I think irrationally, in this day of age, but if you really look at it, and like I've said, I look at it just as little ants on a rock, just experience life. Dude, money is stupid as fuck. Are you kidding me? Don't get me wrong, it's cool that we work and stuff, and we feel that gratitude, and we feel that that accomplishment. We just feel successful sometimes when we get that paycheck. But it's to seriously think how much we waste our time at work to get this money just to be giving it to these things. What do they
say?
And man, I know I can say it all damn day. I sound like a broken record probably with it, but it's just annoying because every single person could have healthcare. Every single person could. As school could be free as fuck. Gas could be free. Air could be free. Food should be free. I know, don't get me wrong, we would have to somehow set some guidelines of you can't take the whole damn fucking crop because somebody's gonna do it. But it's if we truly could live the way that we actually have potentially living, as every human, we could work together. We shouldn't have to pay for anything in life. We should just this is the way I look at it. Kind of just pay it forward type of rule where say somebody does something good for you, you do good for somebody else, hopefully they do it. And then the other thing is just hey, if say you're a farmer and I want some corn or something, and say I'm somebody that make clothes, say somebody I make clothes, I make shirts and stuff. I just be hey man, you give me some corn, I'll give you some of these clothes here, just keep you warm and everything. That's just you keep me fed. Yeah, the whole this whole thing, barter and trade. That. You work, just work for it, man. With each other though.
Services.
Don't go work these stupid jobs like Starbucks and all this shit. Don't get me wrong, anybody that works there, it's a fun environment. Trust me, I work shittier jobs, but don't be that person that's just in there just getting paid. You work for some company that you're just getting paid to make sure that all these people that are living the life that we should be living just for free, just walking in anywhere they want to come and just grab fucking coffee from you. You don't be living that life.
Yeah.
Seriously, that shit's stupid. We could all be working just together and helping each other go forward, you know? Like, I don't know. It's just, I know it's stupid because we'll never see it, but it's just, it's true. It's just the way I can never get over it. After you think it,
right?
And it's so simple. Like, I know on paper it's simple as fuck. Don't get me wrong, but like in real life now, for all of us to change that way, it's not at all.
Right.
But like seriously, if like I said multiple times when I've talked to you, like if you were gonna start your own world basically and all the life on it, you would have them all work together. That's just ideal.
Right.
That's
it's
my
like a
thing.
Dystopia, yeah. But I know we've talked about this in other podcasts as well. It's just like whenever there's you look at the lessons of history, and if there's an opportunity, there's always someone who's gonna take advantage of it and use it for selfish reasons or perverse reasons, whatever you want to call it. I always anytime I hear the word pervert, I always think of bad stuff, but actually it does have a different meaning.
Yeah, no, especially today's age, man. Like it's names are everything.
All right, man.
Well, real quick, because I know you got something that we can spend some time on.
Yeah.
But I just kind of want to just like bend your mind a little bit, real quick, with you, with this little thought I was having, because I sent you another text. I just wanted to talk about the two texts I sent you. So I sent you another one that said just advanced parasites.
Okay.
Okay, so I was thinking the other day, actually it was last night, because that's when I texted you.
Yeah.
Because I was just, my mind was just, like I said, pumping material
All
out.
it said was advanced parasite, and at first I was like, okay, that's a topic he wants to talk about on the podcast.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, for sure. Well, it's not even like a topic. It's just something that I was thinking of, like how humans could have been a thing. It's just another like theory out there that I'm just throwing out that could be or hypothesis or whatever it is.
Okay.
Because hypothesis is it's a hypothesis. Like, so, okay, so I watched the one documentary on Netflix called Rats.
Okay.
And like how they were talking about how different parasites take them over, and then I was watching and like pretty much just controls their everyday thought. And then I was watching Planet Earth, either 1 or 2, I couldn't remember which one, but they were talking about the parasites that are just like that take over plants or take over wasps and like completely just kill them from the inside out as long as possible though, and completely just overtake them. So here's where I'm kind of thinking, if you think that we're from monkeys, do you think that this is gonna blow your mind here? Okay. So, because you really got to think of this, because it's realistic as fuck.
Prepared.
Do you think that you and I got here today because at one time our soul or like whatever we're doing right now, just anything that's helping us talk right now, that advanced these monkeys? Okay, so say we were a parasite at one point in time, and we took over, like we were something so tiny that we didn't even fathom we were a thing, but we took over a monkey and then got so smart, like we were just the most advanced parasite that we didn't kill, but we advanced whatever we took over. Evolved, like everything evolves, and then so we just like made them, a little bit more, functioning. Like we run probably a lot better than monkeys do, but like they're still pretty.
So in a way, it almost kind of be like
we learned how to just our mind, like we were just the smartest parasite ever, and then we just learned how to just take over these things, and then over time we took over so many that we just kept, and we knew that we could reproduce and just keep evolving, like because parasites are something scary, bro. Like something. If you really look, like they can control anything. Like it's pretty crazy. It's really really cool.
They can wipe out entire
everything. If they took over humans, oh my gosh, that's what I'm saying. Like, what do you think is that a possibility? Do you think that we were like we could have been a parasite one time?
I think.
And monkeys and a parasite just didn't.
So
because they could have eaten something wrong. Because dude, here's my whole other thing too. Because parasites live in flowers, and they take over flowers, and then they take over little rats and stuff. So say anything that a monkey's eating or whatever we were, gorilla, whatever it could have been. Say that they just a whole tribe of them or whatever they were just ate a whole pack or whatever, just ate the wrong batch of whatever it was, and we just over time took them over, and it was a really long process. But
I will say that I think one of the big threats to take out the human population would be an epidemic, something like spreading that's airborne or something's highly contagious, like a parasite or something like that, or some strand of a
disease, anything, like just a little germ, whatever. The little tiny stuff is gonna kill it.
All it takes is to get on one airplane that goes from one country to another. And
well, you saw the movie Contagion?
Contagion,
yeah.
I mean, talk about like if that's.
I was afraid to go outside.
If
for
that's not one
2
of the
weeks.
scariest movies, that's not a horror movie you've ever seen.
Dude.
Yeah.
Whew.
There was a scene in that movie, and still to this day, I think about this. There was a scene in that movie they talk about the average person touches their face like.
No, that's what. Yeah, that's
was it like 3,000 times? It was some astronomical.
I thought it was like
number.
1,500 times. Yeah.
Yeah. It was a big number, but what am I doing as I'm watching that scene in the movie? My hands on my face.
Yeah.
You know, and I touch my face all the time. You know.
So here's where I go. If you really think about a lot of things, like if you think about like if we watched a movie that somebody like, because you and I have talked about it before, like when we were real young, it was one of the things. Like actually, you were probably the first person ever. Actually, yeah, you were the first person ever to tell me this, and it just reminded myself every single day of it. You were talking. I shouldn't say the whole story, but you're talking to your brother, who was really close to us. And he used to be a real video game addict, stay inside all the time. And we were talking about him trying to get outside. He was like, "Oh, I could die out there and stuff." And you're like, "Well, yeah, but we could go outside right now, step right outside the front damn door, go down the steps, and trip and break your head off or break your neck off a rock, and you're dead for life." Like, like that. That's always reminded me of that. So it's like, if you looked into that, we watched a movie of that, you'd be almost afraid to go outside because you'd be thinking about it a lot. So my thing is, we've been around so long, and our body, like, especially the older that we get, the more that, like, I know our bodies over time start breaking down, and our all defensive systems, like,
our immunity, our immune systems.
But like as of right now, you know, we lived here for so long, and like I said, our schedule, like all of us are pretty much on a schedule now. We touch the same things pretty much as like. As often as most, you know, like we don't touch very rare things anymore. I feel like as the average person, and I feel like after time, your body just understands. Like you guys, like, because whatever you touch, like, ends up becoming you sooner or later. Because we're made of the tiniest little things ever, and we just see us as this big ass little body, but it's like this big ass body, but it's like, no, man, like every little thing that we have in us is creating us, and they're tiny little. So that's, I don't know. Just my thing. I just think that we think a lot about things because, like, that movie did scare me for 2 weeks. Like, I'm not lying to you. I was afraid to touch anything.
I know what you mean.
But then it's like I was looking at homeless people the other day. I was driving and I saw a few in Canton, and I was just looking at them like, okay, so then you take these guys who literally just live outside, shit everywhere, wipe their ass with everything, and they haven't, like, they're not dead or anything.
I think that human beings are absolutely incredible survivors. And
we're fucking insane.
I think that we have built crazy. We are the supreme species on the planet. We are.
Oh, yeah.
You know? And I think that's because over thousands of years, our immune systems have been built up to the point to where we can withstand some of these things where maybe other species cannot. I don't know. I mean, I will say, I think a big part of it is just like, you just have to know yourself. Because I'm sure you know someone. There are people who just flat out get sick more often than others.
Yeah. Oh,
you
yeah.
know? And like, hey, if I go out in this field and there's a couple of dandelions, I'm going to be sneezing like crazy. Or if I will go around this cat, I'm going to get sick. Or if I'm hanging out around kids for too long, I'm going to, they're going to give me something. Where, like for me, I had just a small sample size here, but I taught for 4 years. I remember the first 2 years I taught. It was a guarantee I would get sick those first couple weeks of school. Being around those kids.
Yeah, oh yeah.
All these new germs. I wasn't around. It was a guarantee I would get sick. I'd get run down, get cold, flu-like symptoms. But then the last 2 years I taught, not even close to it. And I gotta believe that's my immune system that got built up to that.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, this is a type of germ. Okay, we haven't seen this one yet. We don't see this one that often. It's almost like your body, like, processing all this, because I think there is this incredible survival mechanism that kicks in our bodies. It's like whatever it takes to keep us going, we're gonna do. So to answer your question about the parasites with monkeys or primates way back when, so it's almost kind of like like Peter Parker got bit by the spider and he got all these advanced senses and everything like that, and abilities. So you almost think that something like that happened on a much larger scale.
On a larger scale, yeah, kind of.
I'm not, obviously, not to go cartoonish.
No.
Radioactive.
Well,
spider,
here's the only way that, because I told you that I have another thought that just debunks it all. Like, but at the same time, it could have. You never know. But like, here's my thing: is like, well, then how come more monkeys aren't just walking out of the woods looking like us, you know, like, because over time, wouldn't other tribes of monkeys do the same thing sooner or later? Unless
now we're getting a whole entire Planet of the Apes stuff.
Unless we're just gonna, I'm just gonna end it here, but it's gonna just open cans for wherever, but we won't take it anywhere. But it's like, unless we were just on an asteroid from interstellar space and we just landed on Earth, just a little tiny rock that just had thousands of like tiny little things on it, and that's when the monkeys ate it, and it was only them that ever got caught with it.
That's wild.
That's one of they ate them all. They ate them all. So that's I mean that we could take it anywhere. That blows my mind.
That's some crazy stuff right there.
I was gonna say, so it's 3:34. I know we got to get wrapped up here soon, but I know you. Do you have a? Did you?
I'm gonna save that one for next time.
All right. Well, real quick, I'll add this last little thing then. Yeah. So, talking about us being like a little asteroid from interstellar space and crashing down.
Yeah.
So I just watched his video the other day, and I've definitely looked into it, and it was on multiple news channels or on websites and stuff. So I mean, don't get me wrong, it could be wrong because you can't believe everything you read on the internet, but it's just something really cool because I know you and I talk about freaking octopus all the time and like how weird they are and everything and how smart they're. So they just came out. Scientists believe that or could they definitely believe, and they haven't crossed it out or anything, that octopus could have been just something that came from they started off as little tiny, like, not parasites, but just little tiny things that were on just an asteroid just traveling through space, and they were just frozen, like little eggs, pretty much just frozen for a time, and they crash into the ocean and then they just, over time, it just was the perfect, life for them to live. Like, it would be like a crazy
perfect
chance for
them to thrive.
Yes, because they were saying how smart they are compared to everything in the ocean. The way that they can just camouflage in a matter of seconds, they adapt to literally everything. They're smarter than us on a lot of different levels, like a lot of levels. They can breathe outside of land. They can breathe in the water, or outside of water and in water. Like, dude, octopus fucking scare the fuck out of me, bro. Like, they're smart as fuck. Sorry for the F word today, guys.
No, you're fine. So that would be considered like an invasive species, is what they would call it.
Yeah.
Something that is not native to an area or not naturally just there, that kind of shows up and just throws off the entire food chain.
Well, because they said, and the fact that I think they're only one of 2 or 3 species on this planet that have that big. I think they're actually the only ones that have the brain to body percentage is crazy, because their brain's almost just as big as their body, or actually it might be bigger. Yeah. So because their brain is fucking huge compared to anything else.
I mean, just look at it.
It looks alien. If we saw that on the moon, or we saw that on Mars, I don't know if that's what you're gonna say, but it's hilarious.
If you grew up sheltered, isolated, never watched TV, never got on the internet, and you're 20 years old, and somebody shows you a picture of an alien from a science fiction book and a picture of an octopus from National Geographic, are you going to be able, with confidence, to be like, oh yeah, those two aren't related?
Dude, that's my thing. They scare me. That's one of those things I'm like, hell yeah. Because they're weird.
And we talked about the deep sea and some of the see some of the stuff they see down there.
Well, they're finding new species of fucking they're finding brand new ones all the time, and those things look alien as fuck.
They glow.
That's why we were saying just on the last pod that we were talking about the moon and stuff, and I was like, well, as much as we spent, that's the only, because I love interstellar space and stuff, but seriously, as much money and all the time that we spent trying to travel outside of the ocean, why wouldn't we check the rest of our planet that we don't even know? We have only 2% of the ocean, 8% of the ocean, or something stupid.
I think let's just call it 5%.
Yeah, if that, honestly, but dude. So that was my thing, because that kind of blew my mind, because I think everybody that knows about octopus are kind of intrigued by them, and for that to come out it's, don't get me wrong, I'm we were saying, we could be parasites from just monkeys ate or something. It might not be true, but you can't rule it out because you weren't there. It's totally plausible.
There's a reason why the giant squid is gain this mythological status, as whether or not it might really exist. So I don't know, man. Some crazy stuff. That's a good one.
That's a good one, man.
That was great up there.
That was a great pod.
All right. Well, you guys have a great weekend.
Well, real quick before we get off here, should we? All right, so we're both coming up. I think we'll probably get 1 or 2 more pods in, but I think we're both going to be on vacations, opposite weeks. But the week after he gets back, I'll be on vacation, so we might not have one for a couple weeks.
We're doing a tag team thing. I'll be coming back to Ohio. I'll tag you out.
Yeah,
I'll tag you in.
And I'll go fuck Florida up. Yeah.
So we're in different parts of Florida. That'll be in a couple weeks. I know I'm coaching basketball, so looking forward to that. Trying to start a new career. I know you're still working, so. But
I might be ramping up to make a move to see Bus.
Really?
In a couple months, yeah. Okay. So I know we'll talk about that, but
all right, man.
Heck yeah. So
hey, live your best life.
We out here. Intrigue Podcast.